Good morning, all empathic sensitive souls. Happy Monday. Got my gorgeous cup of coffee. I am not working today. Wahoo, buckaroo. I have the day off just because I can. It's Monday. I need a sip. It's been a very long weekend. Remember, I told you all that a couple weeks ago I threw my low back out? Well, guess what I did this time? My neck went out. I can kind of turn it, so it's okay for now. Why? There is so much fear for me currently around my health. It is ridiculous. Why? I'm trying to be on a path of eating healthy. I'm trying to exercise. Threw my low back out, couldn't exercise. I got a shot in my arm, could not touch my arm for 2 weeks. And this weekend I planned on getting my exercise going again, and my neck goes out. Am I self-sabotaging myself? What is going on? The amount of fear that is surrounding this is over the top. I am terrified I'm not going to get better. I am terrified that every time I turn around, something else is going to go. Is it going to be my knee? Is it going to be my hip? Is it going to be my flipping elbow? I don't know. And it's so scary for me. This week's mantra: I release the fear and embrace the power of the present moment. Perfect timing. Thanks, universe. You know, the universe just seems to know, doesn't it? How do I be okay with the fear? And what does the fear represent? What is the fear all about? And how do I release that fear and embrace the present moment? I've told you before, I have such a hard time being present because my mind is always in the past of what would have, could have, should have, or in the future of what could be, should be, would like to be, daydreaming. How do I pull myself to the present? A lot of people say, go to nature. Well, when I go into nature, I automatically start daydreaming. I listen to music. I create stories and scenarios in my head. If I would have been pushed to the path of a writer, I could probably be a pretty darn good writer, but I was never pushed to that path. And that's okay because I get hand cramps from writing too much because I type all the time now. How do I release this fear around my health and embrace just the what is? How do you guys release your fear? Now, I understand that fear is our ego or our natural defense mechanism trying to keep us safe. But becoming healthy and more physically fit, you would think would keep me safer in the long run. So why is suddenly my body telling me, nah, we're going to throw your neck out so you can't exercise this weekend? What? We finally have gorgeous weather here. Of course, on a Monday. It's supposed to be 70 degrees. I am going to the chiropractor to get my neck put back in. Doing some shopping, grabbing my sister, and we're going to go have some lunch and kick back and chew the fat, all the fun stuff. But how do I release the fear that surrounds my health? I have been doing a lot of deep breathing. I have been trying to listen to meditation, but my internet is going wonky. Internet is unstable. Really? So how do I be okay with this in the present moment? Obviously, I need to go in. I need to find out why I have such a fear, what that fear represents, or why I just have it. What is the fear about, and how to release it. I do meridian tapping, and I have great results within myself with meridian tapping. I'm going to continue that. I'm going to continue trying to listen to meditation when the internet will work. And even on my cell phone, the internet is going, nah. But of course, that could just be my cell phone because it is older, and you know how they want you to buy a new one all the time. What what is what me struggling with fear is, it's fear. And I know it's fear, and I know there's not a darn thing that will work on my mindset until I decide to deal with my fear. Dealing with fear is, it's a struggle, it's a strain, it's a trial, it's a tribulation. And then when we get on the other side of whatever was terrifying us, it's like, oh, thank God I survived. But we don't celebrate, and we don't look at it and say, what did I learn? So I'm trying to do all that in the present moment. What is this teaching me? Why am I so afraid? Am I so afraid of what's going to be expected out of me if I do become healthy? Is more going to be dumped on my plate because people will see me as, oh, Denise can do it now, right? I don't know. That's happened in the past, where when I'm doing good, suddenly everybody needs more from me or needs something from me because they see me doing good. So I set myself up to fail so people don't have to need me. Does that make sense? There's a lot of fear. As humans, we are a very fearful species. A lot of it is generational, ancestral, passed down. I remember growing up, I was always told, well, what will the neighbors think? Well, what will the kids at school think? Well, what will everybody else think? If you act this way, if you dress this way, if you talk this way. I don't know, they haven't seen it yet. But fear is instilled in us as children. And a lot of it is to keep us safe. A lot of it is to make us stop and think before we do something, to look at what the outcome would be, could be, should be, could be, maybe be, and to keep us safe. It's always to keep us safe. But when we let go of the fear and we just jump, sometimes miraculous things happen. Sometimes we can spread our wings and fly. Sometimes we crash and burn. But that fear is so overwhelming and terrifying. How do we let it go? It's something I've been working on for a very long time. I was extremely fearful of doing live video. It took me 2 years to get over that fear. 2 years of being seen in the internet world. And a lot of that came from childhood, from your parents trying to keep you safe. Oh, you don't want to do that. It reminds me of the cartoon from Disney, The Croods, where they go out of their cave and bad things happen. So the dad always wants everybody to be safe and hunker down in the cave to keep them safe, right? And that's part of why humans are always afraid, because we don't want to get hurt. And the funny thing is the older I get, the more I realize that it's not necessarily the doing, it's the after fact. It's the, yeah, I can drive fast, but if I get in an accident, it's going to be very painful for me. That healing time, that recovering time is going to take much longer the older I get. part of that's maturity, part of that's knowing it's not safe to speed to start with. But as humans learning and growing, some things there's worth taking risks for. Now, I would think that internally, I would think my health is worth that risk. But apparently, my ego says, no, we're going to throw your back out, so you can't. Again, you get comfortable in your environment, you get comfortable in the way you are, and change is hard, and change is difficult, and change is scary. And if there's a change, what if? What? Right? That question, what? What could happen? What happens if it's something amazing? And that's where my brain stops and goes, oh no, it's going to be horrible. Instead of, it could be awesome. And instead of putting the awesome out in the world, I put out the fear. And I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to just be in the present moment, but it is so hard. That's our mantra for this week. Release the fear and be good in the present moment. I release the fear and embrace the power of the present moment. And when we believe in ourselves, we are so powerful, it is scary. I've told you the story of my great niece who was not necessarily being bullied at school, but she was very shy and quiet and unsure of herself. And kids would pick on her because she was so timid. And we did mantras for, I'd say, a good 2 weeks. And it totally changed her life. She became secure, sure of herself, knew she would, darn it, I'm a good person and I don't deserve to be treated that way. And she went from being fearful and crying when somebody looked at her or said something nasty to her to telling them, you don't shake my core, you don't break my stride, right? And that's as an 8-year-old. And to give kids that ability to be strong within themselves, it's awesome. And if saying mantras for 2 weeks helps her believe in herself, imagine what it can do for us. And if we do it for 2 months or 2 years, some of that conditioned programming starts to get overridden by us feeling good about ourselves, us being secure in ourselves and sure of ourselves. And I'm hoping that by me telling myself I'm okay, that I'll be okay, that I will start to override that fear. And I can't even say it's an instinct, because a lot of the things that I'm fearful of, no. I can be fearful of elephants because they're big. I can be fearful of hitting a deer because they do a lot of damage that costs a lot of money. But to be fearful that my health is going to get worse instead of better, where is this thought coming from? If I work on it and take my time at it, and I have a support crew, I have my chiropractor, I have my doctor, and if worse comes to worse, I can ask family to help me if I really do throw my back out bad. But I should be okay. But that fear is so overriding, it's ridiculous. So that is what I'm working on this week. Releasing the fear. Being okay in the present moment. For me, it's trying to be in the present moment. Let me know how it's going for you this week. It's an awesome Monday. We're going to have great weather apparently the whole week, and I am very excited about that. Yes, I'm going to work tomorrow, but that's okay. because then I'm making money, not spending money. So that's a good thing for me. I hope you all have a fantastic week. I got to hit the road running. I've got places to go, people to see, and a breakfast to make. I will talk to you all later. Have a great week. Bye for now.